weeks operating as a New York Jets starting quarterback, Mike White has had some ups and some downs. The question is, after 3 weeks of tape, has Mike White proven to be the best option for the New York Jets? Should he be the starter the rest of the way this season? What kind of problems does this pose for the New York Jets going into this offseason? I'll get into this and more right now. On this first play, we're looking up at the top to these double slants. This is a lion concept and one frequently used in the NFL game today. The defense is showing cover 2 with man on the outside, but as you can see, the corner to the bottom of the screen is bailing, which is an indicator the defense may be transitioning to a cover 3 cloud look. The middle linebacker is going to remain center field here and carry with anything over the middle or any kind of seam route. On the snap, White is first looking at his inside slant, but the linebacker identifies it and breaks in that direction. White then looks to Wilson on the outside, who's able to get a free release off the line of scrimmage. He runs a great route here and creates separation at his stem. Wilson now has achieved inside leverage on this defensive back and has created a nice target for White. White rifles it into Wilson for a first down. Watching this from the second angle, I want to focus on White and White alone, specifically his footwork. In this kind of quick hitting play, you want to see your quarterback take 3 steps, get the ball out right away. White here has introduced a hitch in his mechanics. Once he gets to the back of his drop, he resets his feet unnecessarily. While this looks small now, especially considering the outcome of this play, on plays down the road this can lead to issues. This quick reset of his feet costs a half a second, and a half a second at times is the difference between a completion with an opportunity for yards after the catch, a deflected ball for an interception, and in some instances will set his receivers up to take some nasty hits. I would like to see him plant that back foot, get all his cleats in the ground, and rip this one in there with a little bit of anticipation. On the next play, we're going to have pre-snap motion, and this backer is going to carry with him. This is a man indicator, but there's another wrinkle. This cat on the edge is going to bring some pressure off the right edge. The Jets are actually set up really well to counter this here. The tight end is going to run a quick hitch here where the blitzing corner just vacated. The safety is not able to close the space quick enough on this play. Mike White identifies the pressure, sets his feet, makes the easy play here, and the tight end falls forward for a gain of 9 yards. Watching this play from the end zone, again I want to highlight Mike White's footwork. On this play, White does essentially exactly what I asked him to do on the previous play. Watch how he gets to the back of his drop here, doesn't perform a wasteful second hitch, and gets the ball out on his initial plant to that back foot. This was the kind of mechanics I wanted to see on those quick hitting plays earlier. On the next play, we're going to have motion again, and once again the defender is going to follow. We know that indicates man coverage. Some of you might be wondering, okay, but what does that do for White? Mike White is seeing he's got man coverage across the board with 2 high safeties. So we're looking at your typical cover 2 man look on defense. The weakness in cover 2 man are the sidelines between the safety and the corner, which is referred to as a hole shot, which I've shown. Against this look, the middle of the field between the 2 safeties is also a soft point, as I have also shown. With that now being known to us, let's look at the route combinations we have. Up top, we have a go route. Against a cover 2, this must be an outside release to put stress on the safety on that side of the field. The inside receiver is going to run a post route, but at the stem of his route, he's going to give a head fake outside to get his defender to open his hips to the sideline. The slot's going to run an out route. On this play, the ball should be going to Elijah Moore running the post. We will let it play here. As you see, Elijah Moore sold the outbreaking route and is now turning it back inside. He's created that separation from the defender. Meanwhile, as you see, Mike White has already separated and began his throwing motion. This is because White understands that if everybody runs this play correctly, he already knows Elijah Moore is going to be open before he's entered his stem. As you can see, Mike White delivers a good ball and Moore picks up some yards after the catch. From the other angle, we're going to see Mike White is actually delivering this ball from a collapsing pocket as well. Now I want to highlight the window in which White is targeting here. This is a tight window and not an easy throw for anyone. As a whole, this play was very impressive. Unfortunately, on the next play, the Chicago Bears are going to lose Eddie Jackson for the season. I want to take a second to wish him a speedy, healthy recovery. However, on this play, it looks like we have 2 digs downfield. What I want to bring attention to on this play is Mike White's accuracy and ability to layer the ball over dropping linebackers. White is able to place this ball just out of reach of this dropping linebacker, but also splitting the defensive backs in a way neither of them are able to make a play on this ball. Wilson does the rest here and takes it for a touchdown. On the next play, I want to highlight White's movement in the pocket. I've seen him climb pockets well, which is something that he's going to have to be able to do as a less than mobile quarterback. He's going to need to rely on his pocket presence in order to keep plays alive. I think he does a really good job of this here. He climbs the pocket, keeps the play alive, and gets the ball out to an open receiver in a busted coverage. On this next play, we're going to talk more about Mike White's hitches on his throws. This is a variation of dragon, another frequently used concept in the NFL. The idea here is that we have to pair slants with flat routes. As you can see, we have slants to both sides of the line of scrimmage, as well as flat routes on both sides of the line of scrimmage, one out of the backfield and one from the receiver out wide. Pre-snap, the defense shows two high man, a defense we've already seen during this film study. However, at the snap, the defense transitions to this, single high with a corner coming off the edge. Not only that, but watch the safety and the corner sit on these slants. The slants aren't there. The second he throws the slant, the defensive back will break on the ball and get the pass breakup. There is, however, somewhere to go with this ball, and that's the flat at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, the linebacker in coverage has to sift through all this action on the slants just to get to the back. The back is open for a small gain, or at the very least, he could sail it over his head to avoid making a bad play. Mike White is actually going to try to throw a dart here to the inside slant. Mike White is a smart player and overall plays pretty clean games, but physically, Mike White is not overwhelmingly talented. His arm is nothing more than average, and to attempt to throw like this, you have to have a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes level arm to fit this ball in a tight window late over the middle. Mike White is not that. The ball is forced late over the middle, and it gets popped up in the air for the easy interception. Watching this play from the end zone, I want to show you Mike White's hitches again on his throw. Watch his feet closely here and how he resets before making the throw. Right here, his feet are set, cleats on the ground, and he's lined up with his target. He needs to start that throwing motion right now if he's going to try to make this throw. But then he does a quick reset of his feet before starting that throwing motion, and we see that safety just beginning his break on the ball for the pass breakup. I'll show it again. At this point, when his feet are all set, and his cleats are in the ground, and he's lined up towards his receiver, there's no one even on the screen. He does a reset, and look where those players are now. That's the distance his reset cost on the route. This resulted in him being late and putting the ball behind his intended target. For Mike White, I think he does some things well, and it shows on film, but I don't think he's a long-term solution for the Jets. He actually runs the Jets' offense better than second-year quarterback Zach Wilson, and that's why I think he probably is the better bet to play the rest of the way this season. But as far as moving forward, I'm not sure I would be sold as Mike White as my starter going into the 2023 season. I'm a firm believer that you need to give a quarterback 3 years before you pull the plug on them. I think if Zach Wilson were to sit the rest of this season, he were to continue to learn, and then he takes this offseason to really focus on himself and his game, bring him back next year, give him a chance to compete for that starting job again. All of you know he's got all the talent there that you would want physically. It's all the mental game for him. He needs to take that next step mentally. I'm not saying that this time off is going to fix that or fix Zach Wilson, but I think he has a lot of work to do to become the Jets' starting quarterback next year. But I do think giving him a chance to earn his spot back this offseason is something the Jets need to consider. As admirably as Mike White has played for them, you win games with Mike White, not because of Mike White. He shouldn't be viewed as a long-term solution, but rather a guy the team can rally around to make a push for some playoff experience this year. I feel like this is a topic many of you will have some strong opinions on. Let me hear them in the comments. How do you view Mike White? Should Zach Wilson get a chance to start again for them, either this year or next year? Please let me know in the comments. That's all for today. I'll see you next time. Peace.